Hi, my name is Jeremy Hess with Achilles, and in this session, I'm going to demonstrate how an organization would implement subclaims for authentication and access using Okta and Achilles. As you may recall from our previous video, subclaims provide a mechanism for organizations to implement fine-grained attribute-based access control. In this video, we're going to show how Laura, our IT manager, gives permissions to the backend team lead, Alex, to then give permissions to his team in order to enable them to access secrets for their applications. To do this, Laura will connect her organization to Achilles by creating an Okta authentication method, as well as an access role in a path specifically for Alex's backend dev team, and enabling only Alex to have full admin access in that path using a subclaim. From there, Alex will go ahead and create an access role with specific subclaims for his team in order for them to have access to just the very few secrets they need. So let's go ahead and see how that's done in a demo. So getting started, we're going to look at the Okta account, the identity provider for the organization. So we have Laura, we have Alex, we have Mary. And if we click on the groups, we can see that Laura created a backend dev team group that consists of just Alex and Mary. This will help determine authorization through Okta as well as the access within Achilles. So for continuing as Laura, let's go to the Achilles account for the company. Now, this is everything that the company has available to it, and Laura is in charge of giving authentication methods and access to different users. So first thing Laura is going to do in this case is create a new SAML authentication method, and we'll call it backend dev. This will be for the whole backend team, including Alex and Mary and anyone else on the team. We are going to add a location here, which is a folder called dev. This will ensure that anyone who has access to that location will be able to view that SAML authentication method. The next thing we're going to do is add the Okta metadata URL in order to ensure that the users who are connecting are being authenticated through that specific company. And the unique identifier we're going to add here is the email address. So that's the unique identifier set to email, which will then check within Okta if that person's email matches the authorization they have. We're also going to enforce subclaims on role association. And when we hit save, notice that it created for us a dev folder. So we can see inside the authentication method we just created. The next thing Laura is going to do is set a new access role just for Alex, the team leader. Why? Because Alex is then going to have the ability to create authentication methods or access roles for his team in the future. Laura doesn't need to give access to the team, just to the team leader. So we'll go ahead and call this backend TL for the team leader. We are also going to put this in the dev folder, the dev path. And again, when we create this role, the same thing is going to happen. We're going to see the dev folder created in here, and we are going to see our access role within that folder. The next thing Laura will do is click on the access role itself. And from here, she's going to associate the authentication method for the backend team. So if we find here dev backend dev, that is the authentication method, which we are going to associate with this access role. And we are going to give subclaims on this connection between the authentication method and the access role. And this subclaim we are going to be very specific about. We are going to add the subclaim email, and we are going to specify just Alex's email address to make sure only Alex has access, which means that if Alex logs in, everything will be fine. But if, for example, Mary got the access ID and authenticated through Okta, still, she wouldn't be able to see everything because her email address is not in the subclaim. So we'll go ahead and save this. And now Alex has the ability to authenticate, but has no access yet. So we're going to give access to Alex now to all of the dev folder for creating, reading, updating, deleting, and listing any resources within Achilles. Again, everything that's happening for Alex will only be within that path and that environment for the backend team. So we'll go ahead and add all of those for each and every resource within Achilles. Great, so now that that's done, let's go ahead and send Alex the access ID with which he's going to log into his account. So this would be, for example, sent over Slack or email or whatever method that you want. All you're doing is sending this access ID. So Laura says, here, Alex, go ahead and log in with your access ID to your console. And Alex heads over to console.achilles.io and says, okay, I have my SAML access ID. I'm going to add it in here. Click the sign in button, and what we're going to do is be redirected to Okta. Now, Alex has to go log in with his email. Now, once Alex is connected, that authentication happens and it's all good. And now Alex is logged into his Achilles console. Notice his Achilles console looks quite a bit different when he clicks on secrets and keys. All he sees is this dev folder. If we go back to Laura's account and click on secrets and keys, notice there are a lot more secrets within this folder because she is the super admin, but Alex only is given access to the dev folder. So if we click into the dev folder, we see some secrets here. If we click into access roles, we see that dev folder again. We see the access role that was created for Alex himself. We see in users and auth methods the dev folder, which we have our authentication method that was created. Now, the next thing that we want to do is, as Alex, is give access to Mary in order for her to be able to, at least at minimum, let's say, list and read these secrets in order for her to use them. We don't need her to have access to create an access role or authentication method. We just need her to have access to secrets in order to use them to update anything with any of the applications that she interfaces with. So what we do is we click on access roles inside the dev folder, and what we're going to do is create a backend dev access role within our location. If I go ahead and try to create this within the main location and I click create role, it's going to say I'm not authorized because I only have access as Alex to be able to create any roles within the dev folder itself. So now that I added the dev folder location, the access role is created. So now with my backend dev access role ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and associate the correct authentication method. In this case, I'll only see one authentication method, and that is the backend dev, which Laura had originally created and given access only to Alex. So now Alex is saying, I'm going to use that same authentication method with that same access ID. I'm going to connect it. And in this subclaim, I'm going to give everyone in the groups, everyone within this Okta group backend dev team, so that could be Mary or anyone else that's in that group, access to authenticate through Okta and get specific permissions that we're going to set right now. So let's go ahead back to Alex's account. We are going to give access to anyone that's within the backend dev team. So I'm going to click save. And the next thing I'm going to do is give access only to secrets and keys for anyone that uses this auth method and is within this group, within this subclaim. So I'm going to go ahead and click add for secrets and keys. And again, dev folder specific. And I'm only going to give read and list. What this allows me to do, list allows me to see anything in that area, in that folder, for example, secrets. And read means I can actually use them in order to log in to any of the applications that I need to log into, so I can view it. And once I click add, that's ready to go. I'm not going to give any other permissions within Achilles for those users. So now we have our next access role ready to go. And now what we want to do is show how Mary would log in. So I'm going to exit that browser. I'm going to open up a new browser. And what we're going to do is grab the same authentication method we created, which is right here. And this is the same authentication method that Alex used in order to log in. And Alex is going to say, okay, Mary, you're now ready to go. You're on our team. your access is set within Achilles. You can now go to console.achilles.io, and now Mary takes that same access ID, logs in, and is of course redirected to Okta. And when she logs in, now we see that Mary only has access to secrets and keys, nothing else, but also only within the dev folder. Now, all Mary has access to do is see the secrets, and she can even click and view a secret with a secret value. However, let's say Mary wants to just create a basic static secret. We'll call it test1, and she wants to create it in the dev folder. But remember, Mary was not even authorized to create a static secret within that folder or anywhere. So all Mary can do is use these secrets in order to log in to whatever application she needs and use those as they are. And that is it. So now we learned how Laura would create an authentication method and specific access for Alex. Alex would then create just an access role for his team and give specific access to them. And all the access that was given was dependent on what subclaims each user had within Okta, and Achilles is able to differentiate the permissions based on that authentication as well as the access roles. So that is a demonstration of how subclaims would work within Achilles. Thanks so much for watching.